right, folks, I'm getting real good at this stuff. Let me bring my pals on. Gonna have a normal show tonight. Joe.
Hey, everybody.
Now we can have,
what he's doing?
Fun. All right. For those of you who listened last night, that video we did last night about the rideshare business, I had to do some editing, and because it's not a pre-recorded show, we couldn't just do the editing. We had it was like taking a movie that was already in the movie houses and then try to edit that. It's already done. So what we had to do was wait for StreamYard and YouTube to download it. Then we had to download it to our thing. Then we had to edit it, and then we had to bring it back. But anyway, it's up and about now. I just got word just 2 minutes ago that it's up and about. I haven't checked it yet, but the editing is done, and it's something worthwhile to listen to. I think it's pretty exciting, but that's me. Okay, Eddie, you had a couple of horses in, and you sent me the videos. So let's play that and listen to. How the hell do I get the videos now? Okay.
I thought you were getting good at this. Let's go.
I am getting good, but every time they do something, they change the figures. They change everything around. But I'm getting the hang of it. It's only been 2 years.
Is it 2 years already? God.
Yeah, it's 2 years and about 145. Can you believe that?
There's more than that. You got 150 something podcasts.
150. Okay, here's.
I can't believe I'm on like 75 or 80 already. Crazy.
Now, where the hell is this? I think it's here. Okay. All right, Eddie, I got 2 races of yours. One is the first race, one is the 7th. Which one you want to put up first?
Anyone you want. Go ahead.
Let's see.
They both lost, so I don't.
They're off and running at finger lengths. A little bit of a stumble there for Starship Tango, who's last.
Oh, what horse is yours, Eddie?
Rushes out for the lead and clears off by a length and a half.
I don't see nothing.
Oh, there we go. In second.
The one is dead last.
Lengths to Father
He's
Walsh
dead last?
In third. Then 2 more lengths to Hey Hey Harry in fourth. A space of 4 to Concord Spirit, who's 4 lengths in front of Starship Tango, who's at the tail of the field. It's Banker Blaney who leads this group into the turn, leads by 3 parts of a length over Saratoga Banker, who shadows that one outside in second. A margin of 6 lengths to Father Walsh in third. Hey Hey Harry towards the inside in fourth. Then 6 lengths back to Concord Spirit, who's 5 lengths in front of Starship Tango, who's at the tail of the field as they arrive at the top of the stretch. Banker Blaney comes off the turn, leading by a length. Saratoga Banker's now all out in second.
Is that
the white that
Hey Harry towards the inside third. Father Walsh in fourth.
Blankets.
1 furlong to go. It's Banker Blaney on top by 4. Hey Hey Harry emerges in second. Concord Spirits up the inside late. Banker Blaney leads by a length over Hey Hey Harry. Banker Blaney, I think, got there over Hey Hey Harry. That's a photo. Concord Spirit.
Eddie, I missed this. What's the name of your horse?
Concord Spirit.
Finished third on the inside, right?
He finished third, right? All right, I got to watch this again. What post did you have?
Post number 2.
Post 2, Concord Spirit. All right. We should have done this before the race.
Legs. A little bit of a stumble there for Starship Tango.
See, I'm right here now.
Blaney, the favorite, who rushes out for the lead and clears off by a length and a half.
Yeah, I see it. I see it. We should have did this before the race.
3.5 lengths to Father Walsh, who races in third. Then 2 more lengths to Hey Hey Harry in fourth. A space of 4 to Concord Spirit, who's 4 lengths in front of Starship Tango, who's at the tail of the field. It's Banker Blaney who leads this group into the turn.
How
Leads by
far
3
was this
parts of a
race,
length
Eddie?
over
6
Saratoga Banker.
furlongs.
Shadows that one outside in second. A margin of 6 lengths to Father Walsh in
You're
third.
gonna try
he's in
7?
God's
Towards
country.
the inside in fourth.
You're gonna
Then
try
6 lengths
7
I
back
win
to
it.
furlongs
Concord
next?
Yeah.
You're gonna
Spirit,
yell
who's
at me.
5 lengths in front of Starship
I
Tango,
know.
who's
I
at the
win
tail
at
of the
7.
field
I win
as
it.
they arrive at the
win
top
at a
of the
mile.
stretch. Banker Blaney comes off the turn, leading by a length. Saratoga Banker's now all out in second. A few more lengths back to Hey Hey Harry towards the inside third. Father Walsh in fourth. 1 furlong to go. It's Banker Blaney on top by 4. Hey Hey Harry emerges in second. Concord Spirits up the inside late. Banker Blaney leads by a length over Hey Hey Harry. Banker Blaney.
All right, now I'm going to give you a chance to tell me to go fuck myself, Eddie. Now, if you wanted a mile, and you wanted 7 furlongs, and he comes charging at 6, why'd you put him in for 6?
Well, because that was the condition that I was shipping 3 horses to race at Finger Lakes, and that was the only condition they had. I put the other one. I put the other one in a mile and 16th, which is the next one. Which he was a sprinter, and this is the first time going long.
So
I love putting sprinters into a route.
But if you had to do over again, you'd probably switch the 2 horses.
Oh yeah, well if they don't have 7/8 or a mile at Finger Lakes.
No, but you got to put the sprinter that you put in a mile in for 6, and the one that goes a mile that you had in 6 furlongs goes in the mile.
No, because
you can tell me to go fuck myself and mind my own business. No. That's okay. That's okay. You can do that, Eddie.
Gary, that's a photo.
Why should I do that? I don't curse at my friends.
I have to. How the hell do I get to the other race now? We're going to get to the other race. I got to remove this from the studio. See, now I have to go to.
I didn't see the start of it because I don't know how he set it up, but the start, the horse broke bad. So,
well, you want me to start the race again? I will. We got plenty of time here, Eddie. We got all day.
Except we lost Eddie.
Yeah, what happened to Eddie?
I'm in the next race.
All right, hold it now. Wait, you want to watch the beginning of that race again?
No.
You don't? Okay. What about this race, the 7th race? What was the name of the horse?
He's a pure white horse. That's all I can tell you.
Okay, pure white. What post does he have?
1.
Okay, we're going to watch this race.
The white one.
Quiet white Wisdom.
One. Okay.
White one.
Here we go.
Post 1 white.
So this is like a mile race?
Co-conspirators to the outside. 8-5, Quiet Wisdom. 7-5, Don't Lose Cruise. Late money coming in on him. They're all on the gates. And they're off. Don't Lose Cruise, 30 Oysters send out for the lead. Co-conspirators on the outside in third. Then it's Quiet Wisdom, who's in a ground-saving 4th. A big gap of about, 8 lengths to our man Mike, who's in second last. And Rose's Pepino is already 25 lengths off the lead, void of any early speed. As they got about 6.5 furlongs to go. 30 Oysters on the point. Has a lead by a length and a half. Co-conspirator outside in second. Don't Lose Cruise towards the inside in third. A length to Quiet Wisdom, who's has been guided off the inside in fourth. 3.5 lengths off the lead. A space of about 10 lengths to our man Mike. And then it's about, 17 lengths to Rose's Pepino, who's at the back of the pack as they run to the half-mile pole. 30 Oysters has the lead by 3 parts of a length over Co-Conspirators on the outside in second. Don't Lose Cruise along the rail in third. And then it's Quiet Wisdom, who will be in the clear if wanting to circle up 4 wide in fourth, 2 lengths off the lead. Then about 9 lengths back to our man Mike, and way back there to Rose's Pepino. Less than 2.5 furlongs to go. 4 across the track. It's Quiet Wisdom with that 4 wide bid. Don't Lose Cruise is at the fence. 30 Oysters is in between horses. Co-Conspirator drops back, and then it's our man Mike in 5th. They run down the mid-stretch. Don't Lose Cruise and Quiet Wisdom. These two are feuding for the lead with 1 furlong to go. Then in 3rd, 30 Oysters in deep stretch. Don't Lose Cruise, Quiet Wisdoms. These two head through the stretch. Here's the witty line. Don't Lose Cruise wins over Quiet Wisdom. Then it was 30 Oysters and our man Mike.
2 good races, Eddie.
Yeah, they both race well. You know, it's just a
9
question with this horse here.
Mike, and way back there to Rose's
the
Pepino. Less than 2.5
kid rode him
furlongs
well,
to go.
but he didn't
4
really
across
ride
the
him
track.
aggressively.
It's Quiet Wisdom
when
with
he
that
went
4
4
wide
deep,
bid. Don't Lose
he hit
Cruise
him
is
twice
at the fence.
on the
30 Oysters is in between
right-hand
horses. Co-Conspirator
whip,
drops back,
but he
and then it's
in,
our man Mike in 5th.
and I thought
They
he was
run down
lugging
the
in down the
mid-stretch.
stretch
Don't
here,
Lose
and he
Cruise
really
and
didn't hit
Quiet
him.
Wisdom. These two are feuding for the lead.
He was
With
lugging
1
in
furlong
here.
to go. Then in 3rd, 30 Oysters
so he
in deep
didn't whip
stretch.
him. The
Don't
other
Lose
guy's
Cruise,
whipping.
Quiet Wisdoms. These two head through the stretch. Here's the witty line. Don't Lose Cruise wins over Quiet Wisdom. Then it was 30.
I think the jockey cost you the race. I don't know much about thoroughbreds, but I think the jockey cost you the race.
Well, I even asked the kid. I said, "Was he lugging in?" He said, "No, no, puppy. Yeah, no, puppy."
He was,
okay.
sure he was. They bumped at one point.
Yeah. You see, that was now that horse there. I claimed for 16,000. He was running in allowance. That was an allowance race. The other horse I claimed for 25, and he beat 50s and he beat the starters, and he raced an allowance up there. So they were up in class, but they both raced competitive.
So,
but now they're going to go.
What's their purses?
The purses when they were 25,000 or 26,000, I think.
All right.
So to summarize this whole thing, and to give you good reason again to tell me to mind my own business, I will make a summary of these.
I like your criticism because it's on point.
These 2 races. Well, here's the summary. The summary is you shipped horses up there. You put a horse that win going long. You put him in short. You took a horse that wins short and put a long.
No, you
took a 16,000 claimer and put him in an allowance race. You could have won all 3 races if you just would have put him. But I understand. You wanted to ship 3 horses 100 miles. You try to fit so they would all fit in a race. I got it, Eddie. I'm only kidding you.
No, I shipped them up there because to run up in Saratoga, you see, I don't have a lot of horses, okay? And what I do is I try to protect my horses so I have a job. And plus my help will have work. Now, I could drop these horses tomorrow in a 20 and a 16. They'll be gone because they'll claim a hot stove up in Saratoga.
Yeah, but Eddie, I understand what you're saying.
Wait. So now it's very hard to replace a horse at Saratoga because everybody's claiming. And that's why I jeopardize myself in a lot of ways because I blame myself in a lot of ways for overclassing. Yes, I do. Because I'm protecting to keep the horse, but I put them where they can pick up checks and make money. I don't overclass them where they don't pick up a quarter. So
very good explanation. Very, very good explanation. That's what you call a politically correct explanation. I understand it completely, but I would just operate a little different. I would just win, and claim. You're in the claiming game. That's what I would do. But I understand what you're saying.
It's very hard to strategic horsemanship, Eddie.
You know what it is? To claim a horse up Saratoga, you put in a claim, there's 20-way shake, 15-way shake. To win a shake up there, I went up there 15 times last year to claim horses. And got out shook every time. And I said, you know what? I am not driving 3.5, 4 hours back and forth. And then I hooked up with a guy up there that put the claim slips in. And I got lucky and got one. But it's tough. It's tough to claim.
Very good explanation.
Even with Manny wants to get in, but I tried to tell him that, listen, let's wait till they come back to Belmont, and then you can go get licensed, and then we could look for something for you. But to go up there and to try to claim a horse, it's like fucking hitting lotto. You know, it's tough.
All right, you want to explain this, Eddie?
What?
What is that?
That's when I was trying out for the Sopranos.
Okay. You know, nobody with a beard, they wouldn't hire anybody with a beard. No whiskers in that Jersey mob.
I know that. No, I was supposed to be maybe a chauffeur.
Tell us about this picture. I think you said it once. When did you meet this guy?
Okay, now
Chaz.
My friend Chaz Palminteri, I met him on the that was a party for the Bronx Tale. My friend wrote the music on the streets of the Bronx.
He wrote that song?
Yes.
That's a great song.
Yes. And I got the tape somewhere. I don't know where the hell it is. And they had the party at Gino's in the Bronx.
Oh, yeah. On Allerton Avenue?
Yeah. And they had the big party there, and Chaz was there. De Niro never showed. The kid that got in trouble never showed. A couple of the cast members, a couple of the bikers, and we had a big party. And Chaz was sitting, and we were talking, and I asked him that question: "What would you rather be, loved or feared?" And he started laughing, and he said, "Come on, we'll take a picture." But he never answered that question. I think he'd rather be feared than loved.
I like him.
Yes. He's got a nice restaurant in Manhattan.
Yeah, he was good friends with Frank Vincent, Larry, your buddy.
Yeah, I know.
Chaz, yeah.
I know.
Yeah, I know you know. Larry knows.
Okay, let's go down this list, because this way nobody can say I don't pay attention to the people in the. But this has become a social club. All of these things here, Sundance,
hello.
It's all social club bullshit. But we'll acknowledge them. Okay, Sundance, hit the like button. Sundance, you see what I did? I put that thing up there. Yeah. I found it. I put it. See? Can you see that? That's nice. Okay.
Yes.
And Sundance says, hello, Larry. Hello, Joe. Hello, Eddie. If you're on.
Hello.
Hello, Sundance.
Okay.
What's
David.
up, Sundance?
Yay, all. Hi, David.
David.
Sundance again. So far, out of the first 5, Sundance got 3. Out of the first 6, Sundance got 4. Out of the first 7. Hi, Jeffrey. Sundance got 8 out of the first 4. Social club. Okay, Angelique. Oh, Larry, Joe, and Eddie.
Hey, Angelique.
Hello, Angelique.
Bill McCarty. Bill McCardle. Hi, Bill.
Hey, Bill.
Hello,
okay,
Bill.
Hello, Sundance. There they go. Hello, Dave. Hello, Eddie. Hello, Larry. Hello, Bill. Hello, Angelique.
Oh, here's a good one from Bob. You know Bob?
Well, let me get to
away, Bob.
Wait, let me get to Angelique. Hello. Okay, this is all social stuff. What's this one say? Joe, I'm in St. Okay, they're talking amongst themselves. Where are you in Florida? Okay.
Oh, they're talking to me.
Go down here.
That's for me, Larry.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I'm in Pembroke Pines near Fort Lauderdale, Hollywood. I'm like 5 miles from the Hard Rock Casino.
Where's St. Petersburg? Where is that?
Up north.
So he's pretty far from you. It's past like.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly. I think it might be on the West Coast.
Okay, how about Eric? Monticello website has a self-ban from form. Once you sign, you ban yourself from every racetrack, casino, racing. What does that mean? Is that for like gamblers where you could just?
Yeah.
That's for gamblers. Well, that's
Yeah, so you could buy
idea.
yourself.
Yeah, but if I was, I don't know if I would do that. I was just so.
You should have gave one of those to Cabert, Larry. You would have been all right.
Yeah, that's good.
Oh, I got the form. You got the form.
He would have killed me and the person who gave me the form. Okay, Jesse Black. If anyone has any questions, please post them. Jesse, they don't. That whole comment section is a social club. They out of 100 comments, there's it's like a dating site, a social club, and maybe one or two questions along the way. Like here, let's see what Bob said. I wouldn't try 7. I'd be in a little more aggressive out of the gate. You can't take back 15 at 6 furlongs. But Bob, there's some horses that just they're bred to go. There's such a thing as fast twitch, slow twitch. It's all included in the breeding. And if a horse is bred to go long, you can't put them in a 6. You can't make them leave the gate faster. You got to put them where they belong. Eddie gave a good explanation why he put a distance horse in a sprint. It was a good explanation. So just leave it be. But you can't take a distance horse, a horse that was bred to go long, and put him in a sprint and make him bust out of the gate. Because what happens is just what happens. They're 15 lengths back. You got to understand that every fifth of a second, every second is maybe 5 lengths, 6. It's just difficult. Anyway, let's see. Eddie Mott, horse number 1 before.
No, that was Todd Fletcher's horse, number 1. Number 2, Concord Spirit was Mott's horse.
Well,
those are the 2 horses I claimed.
I tell you, you see, that's what it bothers me because you're my friend. It bothers me that you have to operate the way you operate, and I understand it completely. You have, I'll give you an analogy. Analogy is I developed a product. This is 40 years ago, and I went to the people at Kmart, and I says this would be a million seller, and he said to me, he says, Larry, he says the reason I'm not going to take it is because the shelves are filled with products that I put on them. They're all selling great. I'm responsible for if I take one off and put one on and it don't sell, it's a reflection on me. So I have to keep what I have on the shelves. So I understand your situation completely. You have horses, you know where they belong. You keep them sound, you keep them conditioned right. You don't abuse them, but you don't want to lose them because they're hard to replace. I understand that. And it's not that you have 30, 40, 50 horses. You have 5 or 6 or 7, and you want to protect them. I understand that completely. So it bothers me that out of them 3 races that we saw, you could have each one of them horses could have won by open lengths. And it bothers me that because you have to protect, you have to protect yourself. By protecting yourself, you're also, some people may say, well, what about the owner? But you're protecting the owner too, because you're keeping a horse that if he gets claimed, he may be replaced because it's a crapshoot with a bad horse. This way, and the proof of the pudding is you have a maiden that win over $300,000, and he's still a maiden. And I don't know if you told the jockey, just finish second, just keep him in this class. If you did or not, it's a strategic move. You don't have to answer that, Eddie, but it's a strategic move. And there's a lot of people that do that. Keep non-winners of 2 until they're 7 years old. Meantime, they got $500,000 earned. So, but I understand what you're saying. The only thing that bothers me, because your record, if it's 30 starts, you could very easily have 15, 16 wins. But because you're protecting them, in other words, the job that you're doing don't reflect on the percentage of races that you win. And that bothers me, because I know you work hard, you get up in the morning, you're there every day, you're working your ass off. And it's you got to ship out because Belmont's not open, and that's where you're located at, and you live right there. And now you got to go all the way up to Finger Lakes and go to Saratoga, and it bothers me, because I know what you're doing, and you've been there, and I know what you're capable of doing. And just like these horses here, if you would have put that one going long in the claimer, he would have got claimed. You would have won the race, he would have got claimed. Then it becomes a crapshoot. With that money, you got to claim another horse. If you make a mistake, because everyone in the claimer has a lameness problem, they're all racehorse down, but they all have problems. I understand completely, but it bothers me, because and I know this. If you had 40 or 50 horses, you'd be racing them where they belong, and you'd be one of the leading trainers there. I know that. So when I kid you, you know what I said.
No, I trust your judgment, and I respect your judgment, and I never would tell you to go fuck yourself, because that's not my forte. My friends are my friends, and I take criticism, and especially from a horseman that knows what he's talking about.
Don't get carried away now. Okay, let's go down.
I would respect Joe if he told me the same thing, because he's been there.
I don't know enough about that sport to tell you.
Horses. I didn't say nothing
one
about
thing, but
classification.
Let me tell you something about Joe. Joe is the quiet giant. Joe knows more. Joe speaks very, very. There's a lot. You have to drag it out of him. And then when you drag it out of him, you say, oh, my God, he's a wealth of knowledge. But he don't ever say nothing. He just sits there.
Me?
The only good thing now is you see his whole face. You see his house, because Anthony sent him a phone carrier.
Oh, boy.
Oh, here we go.
There we go.
Let's go down the list. Stony Tony, Mr. Rolla. How you doing, Stony Tony? What's this? Hello, Stony Tony. Okay.
I'm going to show you my old phone holder. You want to see it?
Yeah.
My old one. It's a picture.
What is that? What ship is that?
On top of the table in front of me.
Oh, Jesus. The good ship Lollipop.
Yeah, I taped it to this little plexiglass table, and it's on my lap.
Jesse Black says, hello, everyone tonight. All are welcome to participate in the show. Jesse, it's a social club here. You know when the real listeners come on? In a day or 2 or 3, because like tonight we'll get the same 100, 200 people, and then it goes up every day. It goes higher and higher. But this is like a social club. It's almost like Tommy Stig's social club in the morning. It's all the same people. Only Tommy very seldom has topics. He would go like here. Stony Tony says, thanks, Jesse. And then he would comment on that. Stony, it's been a long time since I see you. What are you doing? And anyway, and he has conversations with everybody that comments. I don't do that. We have conversations, me and my friends, but I should acknowledge the people. Okay, 810 Poker. We got 8 claimers in Ohio. What's the cheapest claimer they got now in New York, Eddie?
Well, not now. Saratoga, it's probably 17.5. But
What
New
about
York,
Finger Lakes?
Finger Lakes, the cheapest is 5. 5. But you know what? Their conditions are so different. I mean, you could run allowance now when it's a 1, 2, 3, 4 New York breds. It's not like New York where you got to go to the den mating claim or starter 1X, 2X, and that's it. You know, it's the conditions are much tougher. You know, that's why I sent them up to Finger Lakes, because they fit in a cheap allowance. You know, and I went up there and win. I mean, I sent a couple up there to win, and they were in allowance, and they raced here in 16 claimers. You know, so that's all. I like Concord Spirit. I mean, I've had him. I claimed him for 25. He's already made 72,000 this year. So the owner's very happy, and we're going to put him in 20 and 25 next. I think it may be on August 13th, 14th, 15th, or 16th up in Saratoga. So we'll see what happens, and maybe they get claimed, and then I have to look, or maybe he'll buy another 2-year-old next year, or two or three of them. Who knows? But he always reinvests. It's just like I said, it's tough to claim horses.
Okay, Eric, any updates on Walter Case? I can't find anything on the internet. I don't know.
Yes.
Okay.
I asked
All
around.
right.
No one knows.
I texted on Facebook, and I just put up a nice little letter stipulating anybody know how Walter Case is doing. I pray to God he's okay. And I got about 100 and something responses that they did not say exactly what is wrong with him, but he's doing well, but I think whoever said he had a stroke, it might have happened, but I don't quote me on it, but they said that our prayers go out to him and he's doing fine. But it's like I don't know, something about tying him down because he's getting to be a pain in the neck, So I think he did get sick. I don't know exactly what, but so everybody's reaching out to him on Facebook. So
I hope he's all right.
We all wish him well. All right, yep. Stony Tony says hello from Stig Social Club. Hello, Stony Tony. I come on there just about every morning that I can. In fact, I did a podcast with him this morning, I think. No, when was it? Yesterday. I think
you better get rid of those blue pills for sure. If you can't remember this morning.
I know.
Oh my God.
No, it was yesterday. I think it was yesterday morning. What's today? Tuesday? Yeah, it was yesterday morning, I think. I did Tommy Stig's podcast yesterday morning. Or this morning, one of the two. But I did a podcast. I don't know if I got to watch it. Because it was like an hour, maybe an hour and a half, and he don't usually go that long. But it was good. Okay, Howard Lieberman. My dad groped for years, almost went over the fence to grab Satch Werner. He couldn't rate a horse with 2 whips, 15-length lead. At half, died at top of stretch. He was like a shot. There's a lot of words missing. I'm not grasping the whole thing, but Satch Werner was, I think he was Hungarian, spoke very broken English, was probably 4-5 feet tall, hunched over. You put him in a bike, you couldn't see, and he couldn't see around the horse. And all he did was go right down the road, just right down the road. There were a couple of guys like him back in them days, but he was the worst. He wouldn't let you go. You had to take the lead from him. He'd never let you go. Very aggravating. Okay, let's see. Angelique. Hello, Larry. Hi, Angelique. David Arthur. I love these internet trainers. Leave the training to Eddie. Okay, David. Oh,
Thank you, David.
okay.
Yeah, Eddie,
Hey,
put the
Larry,
horses
you
in the
didn't
right
read
class.
this?
Put those horses in the right class.
I think that
Yes,
was meant
sir.
for me, Eddie. I think that was meant for me.
No. You missed one with PM. Did you read that one?
Wait, no, what's it say?
Hi, Larry. Started at Monticello with quarter claimers. We had Kenny Galata drive our horses.
I didn't get to that. Wait till I get to that. All right, wait till I get to that. I'm going down one at a time. Oh no, wait a minute. Here, I think you're right.
Yeah, okay.
Very, very, very good. Okay, PM says, hi, Larry. Started at Monticello with quarter claimers. We had Kenny Galata drive our horses. Did you know him? Seems like he self-destructed. Of course, I knew Kenny. I knew everybody up there. When you raced at Monticello, because it was 100 miles from Yonkers and Roosevelt, and there was no other racetracks around other than Yonkers and Roosevelt. And the guys from Yonkers and Roosevelt, they had much better horses than up there. And I think it was in the 70s when everybody from Monticello start going to, especially for the winter meet, they start going to Florida, and they stayed in New York, winter racing. So everybody that raced in Monticello in the 70s, it was like one big family. Everybody knew everybody. And it was tough. It was tough for a lot of guys. It was tough. The leading guy up there all the time was John Gilmore, and, George Gilmore, and Jim Grundy, and Ken Heaney was up there for a while, and a couple other guys were up there for a while, but they would come and go. But the rest of them it was just like one big happy family, and everybody knew everybody. And it was tough times, because when I was up there in the 70s, I think the minimum purse was I think it was either 900 or 1,000 or 1,100.
1,200, I think it was 1,200. I think.
Well, I'm talking about the early 70s.
Yeah,
and it was very. And back then the racetracks didn't take no percentage out for the trainers, for the drivers. And a lot of them, the guys, hey, look, the guys up there, the owners up there were not like the owners that you have today that are still in the game. Half the owners up there had trouble paying their bills, and it was a tough situation for a lot of them guys up there. There were many kids that were raised in tack rooms, and I remember. I even remember them. I remember like it was yesterday. Them Merton kids. I remember them just playing in the dirt on the head and that, and that's how. And it's not knocking anything, but or anybody. That's just how it was up there. Everybody lived up there. You stabled up there, you lived up there, you raced up there, and that was it. That was your whole life.
We did have a good time though.
Yeah.
It wasn't Pokey. Remember Pokey Romano?
I remember Pokey Romano. He worked for me.
Yeah.
Pokey. Yeah. Him and his father.
Then him and his father. Yeah. And then Matt Romano, who's married to Kenny Galata's, what was it, sister?
Yeah.
Matt Romano.
Yep. Matt's out of the business now?
I think so.
I think that whole family's out of the business. The father died, and Pokey, he went and got a job. You know what Pokey did? Construction job. He drove from Monticello into the city every day for 30 years. He's retired now, but I'm sure he's retired with a good pension. But he got out too. And there's another guy. Had he stayed in the horse business up there, he would have been one of the leading drivers up there, but he'd be broke. He'd be penniless. When I hired him, he was working for Lou Gigani. And when Louis got out of the business, Louis called me up. He says, do me a favor, hire Pokey and his father, because I'm getting out of the business. And Pokey just got married. I think this is right. He just got married. His wife's pregnant. They just bought a trailer, and his father, so I hired both of them. But things were tough, and Pokey drove good, but and he did very well. But there's not enough money to be made, and he quit the business. He went in the construction job. And he used to drive from Monticello to New York every day for 30 years. And in fact, Pokey, the first car that Pokey bought was what the hell was it? It was beautiful. It was a white car with a burgundy inside. It was beautiful. And Pokey loved that car. And I think I either gave it to him or sold it to him. I don't remember, but Pokey's a good kid. Okay,
I drove from Roseville Raceway, Carl Place, Long Island, to Monticello every day for one meet for like 4 months.
A tough trip. All right, Howard Lieberman says, when Andy Santarama, driver for his dad, Anthony was a good trainer. I didn't speak to Andy, but we were texting back and forth, and I asked him to come on the show, and he says I got to wait till the statute of limitations is up. I don't know what he did now, but he's a piss of that kid, and another kid that was.
He'd have a lot of great stories, man.
Yeah, I'm going to get him on the show.
I got a lot of good stories with him.
I got to get him on the show.
I asked him. I spoke to him a couple of weeks ago, and matter of fact, the day Concord Spirit win, I was talking to him, and he said, "Why didn't you tell me about your horse?" And him and Mickey McNichol were together when I was talking to him. And
I got to get Mickey on too. Mickey's another one. Should have been in the Hall of Fame. Should be in the Hall of Fame. And just the drinking and the bullshit got a hold of him, and what a top guy he was. It's just sad. I feel bad for them guys. Anyway, you talk to him all the time, Eddie. Why don't you tell him, make arrangements for him to come on?
I told him that day, I said, "Why don't you come on?" And he said the same thing. The statute of limitations ain't over yet. So
I got to get Mickey McNichols too. You see, I don't want to ask because of my past. And maybe there's a couple of guys that didn't come on because they didn't want to be associated with me. So I don't want to call somebody, even though we're friends. I mean, the last time I was in Florida, I had dinner with Andy. And I sat with Mickey up in the grandstand at Pompano, but I don't want to impose and say come on the podcast. I got to have somebody else do it. That's why I don't reach out to people. I got a phone, I could do it, but I asked Joe to do it. I asked you to do it. I asked Anthony because it's easy for them to say how they really feel. And the only one that calls me up is Mike LaChance. He said, "I want to come on. I want to come on," But I don't want to ask. I don't want to ask. I don't ask Joe Rico. I didn't ask anybody. Let other people ask this way. If they feel funny coming on because of my past, I don't have to know about it, and they don't have to feel bad because they could say what they really feel. So I don't want to call somebody and say, "Well, I'm going away and then I'll be back. And then what time? 8:00. All that bullshit." This way, somebody else said. So you ask him. You writing it down, Eddie?
No. I'm just looking at the comments.
Okay. All right. Let's see this comment. But you're going to get, and another guy we got to get a hold of. I got to tell Anthony too. Is
Charlie.
Giamenko, Charlie Giamenko, another good kid, and we made him go out and buy a computer or whatever he bought, and then he never come back on. but we got to get him back on. We got to get Rico back on. You guys got to do all. Anthony will get Chiamenko. Okay, Larry Cox.
Even Ron's a good guest.
Yeah, Ron, great. You got Ron.
Yeah, Ron's really good.
You got Ron. Ron, when I first did the podcast, Ron called me up. This was last year or 2 years ago. And he drove all the way in, and he took me to Il Villaggio's to have dinner. We had a great dinner, or lunch it was, I think. I don't remember. But I didn't ask him. He talked about the podcast and everything else. I just couldn't get myself to ask him.
Yeah, he talked to me about it. It was great.
Well,
because he's got a wealth of knowledge, and he tells the story good. You know, I mean, he speaks well.
Yeah.
You know, and it's very interesting.
Well,
he's got a story about the girl falling out of the trailer. I mean, that's like unbelievable.
Yeah, he called me up I called him the next day, and I thanked him for coming on, and then he told me in boys' language what happened to that girl. How she, he was very polite on the podcast, but it had to be something, man.
Boys' language.
He was doing it up again. She was leaning on that bar that held the door, and he was plowing, and all of a sudden the door opened. Can you imagine how that guy felt?
Wow.
Oh, man. Anyway, okay, Larry Cox says, what is that word? Leamington? I don't know what that word is.
It's probably Remington Raceway or something.
Have their kids' day. I'm going to donate a bike for draw in Larry Rolla's racing. Hope Roger Houston is the guest announcer. Well, that's very nice, Larry Cox. Okay, 810 Poker. Tips on getting a horse to want to pass the last one. Tips on getting a horse to want to pass the last one. Gets the front and waits on them. Now, what does that mean? We got to decipher this. Tips on getting.
That's when a horse is trying to pass another one, he hesitates. He don't go by them.
You're very good at deciphering these things. I don't understand them. Gets to the front and waits on a horse. Yeah, that's exactly right. There's a lot of horses like that. And the first thing that you do with a horse like that is the first thing you do is open them up or close them up. If they're open, you close them. If they close, you open them. If they still do it, then you have a problem. If they're young and they're a colt, you castrate them unless they're royally bred. Then you have to try to figure out how that happens. And years ago, many years ago, what they did was they'd go out there in the training mile, and when he pulled that shit and he refused to pass a horse, they'd have a cattle prod, 10,000 volts. It just give him a shock. It don't really hurt him. It just gives him a shock. And sometimes that helps. But when you get a horse like that, it's a problem. And sometimes it's in their head rather than in the rigging.
And, I had a horse like that, and it was that horse that made $354,000. Every time she tried to pass the horse, she cringed. She cringed and wouldn't go by. You had to take her to the far outside, and if she passed any horses, it would be good. But when she got alongside a horse, she would cringe and bench right up, and she wouldn't pass him. Till finally, that one time she passed the horse.
I remember guys training horses, and they wouldn't go. They would get a bag of rice and tape it on the end of the whip and just shake it, just to scare them.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. And just make a rattling noise.
Yeah.
That would scare them, yeah. Okay, let's see. Bill McCardle. Yes, you can exclude yourself from casino. I worked at Mohegan Sun Pocono. We have people exclude themselves and then sneak in and we have had some win jackpots and then not get paid because of it. Wow. That means if you exclude yourself because you have a gambling problem and then sneak in and you win, they don't pay you. Wow. I didn't know that. Wow. Okay. Dave McKenna, Mr. De Niro, Mr.
DeLauro.
Instead of using a Finger Lakes rider, you can't get Jose Gomez to ride for you. He is having a tough go since losing his bug, but he is a good rider. He would win for you. Well, that would be up to Eddie.
Well, first of all, Jose Gomez was my go-to man when he was an apprentice kid. He won a lot of races for me. Then he got his bug, and he still won a lot of races. His agent is Angel Cordero. Now, Angel Cordero likes to, spin people. You put him down, and he goes to, the big trainers, which is understandable because it's a money game. Now, first of all, Jose Gomez, if I put him on 9 horses up in Finger Lakes, he would not go up there because Cordero wouldn't let him go up there. He's trying to make a go at Saratoga, but if he gets maybe 4 mounts for the week, he's got a lot. And that goes for a whole bunch of those jocks up there because you got the 10 best jockeys in the world riding up there. So, I would use them, but they won't go, So,
okay.
I was watching Chaz Palminteri podcast the other day. I was watching a couple of them. And, after the podcast is over, it goes into the next one. And a movie came up, and it said Yonkers Joe. So I said, you got me interested now. My name, Yonkers, my home, And I put it on. It was about a kid in Yonkers. And Chaz Palminteri was a hustler. And the first scene is at Yonkers Raceway. They show Pompano Park. They show Yonkers Raceway. They were doing something with the dice and fixing card games and fixing the dice in the casino. It was a low budget movie, but it was interesting because you knew to all the places that they went to between Atlantic City, Yonkers Raceway, Monticello, Pompano. It was okay, For the guys that lived in Yonkers area, you should watch it.
Howard Lieberman says when Ernie Dolman DeLauro hit the 170,000 twin double, I had second place finisher in second part was paying 100,000. I remember when Ernie hit that. Now Ernie don't bother with standardbreds. I think he's just a thoroughbred guy. Gambling.
Yeah, he's still gambling in Vegas. He's got his own room and everything else.
Okay, 810 poker. LOL. He is speaking my situation. If I put my one in a claiming where he needs to be, but they will end your stable quick. You're right. But that's the claiming game. What are you going to do? Larry, you should devote Thursday's show in part to the Hamiltonian running Sunday. Get a handicapper or some special guest. Big estate. You know what, Eric? I think I set that up already. So tune in because I did that already. I did it. So tune in Thursday. We're going to talk about the Hamiltonian. Okay. PM. Larry, Mr. Kadish said if he would have gotten Roosevelt, he would have shut the track down and made it a 5/8. What a shame. Still hurts after all these years. He was our golden goose. I don't know who you are, PM, but I have to tell you one thing. You are 1,000% right. Larry Kadish, was probably one of the best things that ever happened to harness racing, and they out and out fucked them. Madison Square Garden and Sonny Werbler Swartland just out and out screwed him, along with some politicians.
A lot of politicians. And,
yeah, and it was sad. And I believe he would have made a 5-8 mile track because, in my opinion, every track should be a 5-8 mile track. And you're right. You're right. It's sad that, and that's what really made him get out of the business was that I got barred in '84. Had I not got barred in '84, he would still be in the business because he told me, he says, "What are you going to do?" I says, "I'm going to fight it." He tried to convince me, him and Aaron tried to convince me to give up these drivers. The one guy that gave me the numbers for that trifecta in the Monticello in the last race, and I wouldn't. And both of them got a hold of me, and they said, and they were right. I didn't know what the hell to do, because they said to me, "We invested millions of dollars. We're doing well. We have a lot of horses with you. We want to stay with you, and you're going to give everything up to protect 4 guys that will never get out of Monticello. They are what they are, and they'll be given a 6-month suspension or something." And then Aaron come up with the idea, well, give them $200,000 each, 4 of them, and just tell the commission what they want to know. Why are you going to lose everything?
that would have been the thing to do. I'm sure they would have took that money happily.
I know. I shut it right down. I said, no, I just can't do it. And
if they agreed with it, Larry,
I know, but then
those guys didn't see 200,000 in the next 10 years.
Yeah, but you're right. You're right. In fact, except for one of them, because 3 of them are dead, there's one alive, and you're right. The 3 that died didn't make 200,000 in all the years after that combined.
I know who you're talking about.
Word gets out. You hear Larry Rolla ratted on these poor kids. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. But anyway,
if you made an agreement, it's not ratting.
The rest of the world don't know that.
But it doesn't matter what the rest of the world knows. If you made a deal with somebody and you shook hands, they're going to say, we made a deal and that's it.
Yeah, but Joe, aside from all of that, the bottom line was I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it.
But you made a mistake.
Because
you weren't ratting. It was the deal.
Well, anyway, so
they would have gladly accepted that money, and your owners behind you would have paid for it, and you would have been in good shape. I mean, listen, I would never rat on anybody either, but that's not ratting.
Well, Katie said to me, all the other owners gave horses to somebody else because I was barred for life. Katie said to me, I'm going to stay in, give the horses to somebody, and I gave them to Billy O'Donnell. But after a couple of weeks, Billy O'Donnell gave him to Teddy Wing. Billy O'Donnell just strictly catch drive. And Katie stayed in it, and when I lost my final appeal 2.5, 3 years later, Katie says, this is what he said to me. He says, Larry, I invested $3 million a year with Ted Wing on young horses. He says, and nothing worked out. He says, if I'm done. You lost your final appeal, I'm done. And he got out of the business, and that was it.
I remember when Kadish put all of those horses in the Meadowland sale. I bought 3 of them, and they were good horses.
He just got out because me and him got along so well. I am such an asshole for not that. He gave me advantage. He gave me situations where I could have been a very, very wealthy guy today, and I didn't take advantage of one situation because I felt that he wanted to kind of control me, and I just wanted to be my own man, do my own thing, and just like a fucking asshole. I get aggravated when I think about it, but I could have been a very, very wealthy guy, a big landowner, and he's a great guy. He's just a good guy.
Just the house alone, he was building you. He was building you a mansion in Westbury.
on his property. Yeah, and he got mad. That was the time when he got. I called him up. I told this story before. I called him up, and this is when I had my license when we were together. And he was put the bid in for Roosevelt Raceway. He bought the largest parcel of land in Old Westbury, and he was waiting to take over Roosevelt Raceway. And I was building a house on the golf course in Inverary. So I made a deal with the builder that he was going to put tinted windows in, special roofing, fencing, Olympic-sized swimming pool with a jacuzzi and everything for $200,000 in cash. So I called up Larry and I says, Larry, I said, do me a favor, transfer $200,000 into my account here, and I'll give it to you. We'll straighten out in a month or two. And he says, is that for that fucking house you're building up there? I'm building you a mansion down here. You buy your, and he hung up the phone. And that's when I got Ali DeSimone. And I says, how many trucks you got up here? And I put all his horses on the trucks. And I says, when you get to Kadish's farm, just turn them loose. And he called me up. And he says, I got horses running down the Hempstead Turnpike. They're running all over the place. Are you crazy? And I says, Larry, you just can't fuck with me. You just can't. You want to fuck with me? Give me a check for $100,000 a month. Put in a memo column. This is for fucking with Larry. And but you just can't do that because Kadish was a funny guy. When Paul Appel trained for Kadish didn't like Paul Appel's wife, and he says to Paul Appel, "This is a true story. If you want to keep training for me, you got to get rid of your wife. I don't like her. I can't." That's the truth. And I'm going to tell you something else. That's the truth.
Can't say that.
Well, he did, and I'm going to tell you something else. That's the truth. I was with. This was in 1980. I was with Aura for maybe 15 years. But me and Aura, we were really split up, but still living together, but split up. And she worked at the racetrack, and Kadish knew her, and everybody knew her anyway. So, but we weren't really together. And I had met Joanne at the time, and I stayed with I won't go into that whole situation, but I stayed with Joanne, and I paid for her to come to. And I got her and a girlfriend rooms at the Fontainebleau Hotel or the Diplomat. And I brought her to the racetrack one night. And Larry Kadish knew I was with Aura and his wife. His wife knew. And I got the table right next to Kadish for Joanne. So Joanne got there. After the race, I went up there. And Larry Kadish calls me to this table. He says, Larry, you got to move your table. And I says, why? He says, my wife is very upset because you're with Joanne. I mean, you're with Aura and you brought Joanne here. You got to move. I says, Larry, tell your wife to go fuck herself. Want to move your table, you move your table. And you know what he did? He moved his table. He didn't, and we stayed together. He stayed together. And I says, and that's how close we were. And, but, you're not gonna pull rank on me. And if I did what I did, and Kadish knew the story with me and Aura, we weren't together. We were together, but we weren't together. It's over. And instead of your wife explaining to your wife, you should explain to your wife, Larry. You should explain to your wife the situation, then she would understand. But don't become a fucking pussy. And let your wife say something, and then, Larry, you got to move. Get the fuck out of here. You're not going to turn me into a fucking mutt. So anyway, and that was it. But we stayed together. And not only that, but after all his horses were caught, he says, can I send these horses back to you? I'll send you the money too. I says, absolutely. I says, you see, you want to play this tough guy shit? I says, see what happened? All you had to do was say, okay, transfer the money to my account. And nothing would have happened. Now we wasted 2 weeks. You got horses running on the fucking Hempstead Turnpike. So anyway, that's the story with Larry. But he was a good guy, a great guy, really good.
You're more nuts than I know.
No, that's Gabalos.
No, that's the truth. Hey, look.
I know it's the truth.
When I'm right, I'm right. When I'm wrong, I take the fucking lumps and the beatings and whatever the fuck I have to take, I took.
Yeah.
And I ruined my whole fucking life. I got the beating of my life standing up for somebody, and I got destroyed. I ruined my life in '84 because I wouldn't give up the guy who gave me the numbers, and the numbers I knew who was dead in the race, and I wouldn't give him up. I can't help myself. That's the way I am, and I can't let somebody make a fucking asshole out of myself, out of me. I just can't do it. But when I'm wrong, I'll stand right there. And you want to put a bullet in my head, I'll show up and do it. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I don't fight back. I don't try to justify. I don't try to make myself right. I knew I fucked up. I took a shot. I take the blame. But when I'm right, there ain't nobody going to make a fucking mud out of me. Nobody.
You should have just talked to those other drivers. They would ask you for $1,000 in advance and been happy.
Well, whatchamacallit, Big Willie, he got very, very mad at me. Aaron Wegman, he got mad at me. He says, "I'll put up the fucking money. I'll give you $1 million. Give them 200,000 each. I'll give you the fucking money."
Larry, that was your mistake.
Well,
those guys you would have been doing them all a favor, and they would have been happy to do it.
I said this once before. I asked about that to two wise guys. One old wise guy, now he's in his 90s, and I'll tell you who it was. It was Juicy, and I asked him, and then I asked another wise guy, half his age, but was a heavyweight in the mob, and I asked both of them that question: what should I have done? And Juicy says, "You did the right thing. You don't rat on nobody. You did the right thing." The younger mob guy says, "You should have given the fucking money. What are you, crazy? You give up everything you worked for your whole life, everything to protect them guys. You're making it, just like you said, you're making the deal. You're giving them the fucking money. They ain't going to make that money in 10 years.
It's true. That's a good deal for everybody. Boy.
Okay, Steve Sabile says, "Hi guys, nice talking to you, Eddie, up at Saratoga last week."
Yeah, me too, Steve. Thank you.
Okay, Stony Tony, Tommy has coffee and a chat. Yep, that's what Tommy has. I did his podcast either this morning or yesterday morning. One of the mornings. I don't know.
Morning.
Larry Cox, would it be okay to donate a bicycle in Larry Rolla stable for kids' draw day at Remington Race?
Yeah.
Would it be okay to donate a bicycle, Larry Rolla stable? Larry Rolla don't have a stable. Larry Rolla been out of the business for 30, 40 years. And I'm sure that nobody up there would know of my name. But if you're serious, it's a very good gesture, and thank you for that. But if you're going to donate whatever, and you're serious, donate it in your name. Sure, the kids will enjoy it. Okay, Gianni Catalano. Stiggs is the best, but he has ADHD. Nobody is expected to have his kind of energy. You do just fine the way you do it, Larry. Well, thank you, Gianni. Yes, it's Tommy Stiggs. He gets up at like 3 o'clock in the morning. He goes to work. He has a job. And then at 7 o'clock, I guess it's his lunch hour. At 7 o'clock, he does a podcast. Then he works all day. And then he does another podcast at night. He's very, very regimented. He does everything like perfect. You know, he
must be a military man.
I got to look and see a podcast. I think I did it Monday. I don't know. Anyway, Stoney. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's see. Walter Case had great hands, finally got it clean, and yeah, it's too bad. It's too bad. There's a bunch of guys that same thing. I remember years back, there was a guy that worked for, who the hell did he work for? I forgot. His name was Bobby Frame. Unbelievable driver. Unbelievable. But a stone drunk. Bad drunk. But he beat the shit out of everybody racing with bad horses, and we had to lift him onto the seat. Bobby Frame. There's a couple of guys through the years that were very, very talented, but just got into, like I had the destruction habit of gambling. I had that addiction. These guys had drug addictions and drinking addictions. It's tough. It's tough. I ruined my life and they ruined their lives. Okay. Let's see. Stig Social Club uses a lot of that's yeah, I don't know how to do it. I don't even know how to give emos. I don't know how to give some people a wrench, because sometimes you get these assholes that come on and say stupid things. And if I gave everybody a wrench, like Sundance or you, Eddie, or Joe, and you see a comment that is bad, you could do something. I don't know what you do, but it gets rid of them. And that's. But I should have asked Stiggs that day. How do you give somebody a wrench? I don't know. Okay, let's see what this says. That's how we roll, Stony. Okay, Stony Tony, great show, Larry. I saw it this morning. Oh, it was this. Okay, good. Yeah.
Now you know.
Yeah. Well, he says he saw it this morning. I could do it yesterday, so I don't know, but yeah. I'm gonna watch it.
At least you got the right week.
That's another thing. I watch. Yeah. Yeah, yes, the right week. Another thing, I remember years ago, I used to watch, and you see all these famous actors get interviewed, and they say they very rarely ever watch the movie that they made, and I couldn't believe that. But now I never watch the pod. After we're done with the podcast, it's over and done with. I never watch it. So now I understand a little how them guys felt. Okay, let's see. Yes, the show today with Tommy and Larry was awesome. Okay, thanks, I guess it was today.
You are today. See?
Don't make me laugh. I think it was yesterday.
All right.
No, it wasn't today. I don't know. And anyway, Anthony DeCero, rock on, guys. Okay, he must be back from that concert.
No, he's not back. He's at the Rod Stewart concert.
Well, he just said something. Rock on, guys.
Yeah, it's just wishing us, have a good night.
Well, how's he do that? On his phone?
Yeah.
Okay. David Arthur, that wasn't for you, Larry. I meant the comments. Okay, that must be when he says the computer trainers, Eddie.
Yeah. What? I'm looking at the comments.
I thought he was making a comment about me, but he said it wasn't for me.
No, it was the computer trainers. People just like the TV trainers. You go to OTB and then TV trainers. They look at the
TV trainers.
Yeah.
Suit and tie trainers.
Here's our friend Manny, Cigar Manny. This owner is on the way out the door. Okay, I think I know what he's talking about, but I'll let you guys.
Him. He's out the door.
What does that mean?
He's out the door. I think he's doing some transactions, I guess.
It's just Manny here, second-class citizen. It's just Manny here, second-class citizen. I don't know what that means. Okay. Stony Tony, the link for the show this morning with Tommy Stiggs. The link for the show this morning. Maybe it was this morning. I don't know. Steve, I have no idea how owners pay their bills at small racetracks, harness tracks, even racing for 4 times a month. I guess the day rate of the trainers must be much less than the thoroughbreds. It is much less. At the smaller tracks, it's much less. And at the smaller tracks, they make a lot of deals. They make a lot of deals just to have horses and just to get by. When Howard Lieberman, when Joe Guarino won Yonkers training title, he was on fire. Yes, he was. But like I said earlier, Joe Guarino is the quiet giant. He don't say nothing. He don't brag. You gotta pull it out of him. And like if you say, you got any races? Yeah, I got tons of races. I won 5 in one night. I won this. But he just sits there. He don't say a word.
What do you mean I just sit here? I've been on here 80 weeks in a row. How many stories do you think I got?
They know very little about you because you don't say nothing. You don't brag. You don't. Yeah, I was. You said it once, and then that was it.
Well, I mean, what could I say?
That's a good quality. That's good. Okay, Stephen Tester, Larry, when are you going to tell some good Mike Gagliotti stories? Did you know David Marshall and Greg McDonald back in the day? Oh my God. Well, let me just say this. Mike Gagliotti, I could do a 2-day podcast on Mike Gagliotti, and I will someday. I will. If the day ever comes when I have to be on by myself because my friends are getting sick and tired of coming on, I'm on by myself, I'll go through everything with Mike. As far as Davey Marshall goes, Davey Marshall, good guy, good guy. And I don't know if this is true or not, but I heard, because Davey struggled his whole life, his wife and his kids struggled his whole life. I was able to help Dave out many times racing in Monticello, and he was a good, whatever he said, his word was good, and we made a lot of money together. And then I heard that years later, because then I got bored, and years later, somebody told me that Davey Marshall inherited a lot of money.
And then he died.
And the next day, they said Davey Marshall was on Route 17 on his way to Monticello, went off the road and got killed. I couldn't believe it. Was a real good guy. Was a good guy. Greg McDonald was the son of Joe McDonald, who I raced with when I first got to New York in the 60s. And through the years, well, in the 80s, Joe McDonald got a heart attack. He quit training and everything. And we happened to be, and they came to Florida. Greg came to Florida. Greg, his son, really couldn't get things going. So he asked me, he says, would it be all right? And I just bought a townhouse. And I had, do you remember the townhouse I had, Eddie? Eddie.
Yeah.
You remember the house I had in Florida?
Yes.
Okay.
I lived there. I was on your floor.
Well, was you there when Greg McDonald and his father, Joe McDonald, were there?
No.
Okay. Well, that house I wound up selling to George Gilmore. But when I had it, because there was a time you lived there with Bernie, and then Bernie says, can I bring my family down for a couple of weeks? He wound up staying for 4 months, 5 months. But then after that, Greg McDonald come to me and he says, my father just had a heart attack. He's not doing well. I'm not doing well. We really can't afford to stay any place. So I let him live in my house. And they stayed there for a long time. And every night I used to come in after the races, and his father, Joe, would sit there with a bottle of scotch. And I says, Joe, you shouldn't be doing this. And he says, no, the doctor says that one shot of scotch a night is good for my heart. And I says, yeah, but every night you're finishing half a bottle. But it was none of my business. I didn't say nothing. His son, Greg, never could really get going. And I believe Greg wound up killing himself, I think. Very, very depressed all the time. And I think he killed himself. But so that's the story of them guys.
Larry, whoever gave me that compliment before, I don't know who it was, but I wanted to tell him thank you. Howard, I think, or something.
Well, right here. When Joe Guarino won the Yonkers training title, he was on fire.
Well, thank you very much. Those were the good old days.
Okay, Manny, why wouldn't someone come on because of you? You weren't a hitman. No, Manny, because of my reputation. Look, there's no. I don't hide it. I wrote a book about it. I fixed a lot of races. I did a lot of things that you were not supposed to do. Now, that's not to say that, and I shouldn't even say this because it's like justifying what I did, but they were races being fixed long before I was even born. And while I was doing what I was doing in Monticello and at Aqueduct and Belmont, they were having a pretty good time at other racetracks around the country. But I don't justify what I was doing. But because of that reputation, it's very hard for a guy like Mike LaChance, who's in the Hall of Fame, or Jerry Silverman, or Billy O'Donnell, to come on and be associated with me. And because people could say, and this is what I told Mike LaChance, I says, Mike, you sure you want to come on? I says, you know, I have a reputation. I was barred for life 2 times in that business. Everybody knew what I did. I wrote a book about what I did. There's going to be a movie about what I did. And Mike LaChance says, I don't give a fuck about that. You're my friend, and I'm coming on.
Yeah, he told me the same thing. He told me the same exact thing.
Yeah. But then there's a couple of guys like, and I understood it. Like when I asked Jimmy Maroon to come on because I was doing all the races with Wildwood Jeb when he won the cane pace for me, and then when he went to the Delaware, Ohio in the jug, and he got in that accident, I says, Jimmy, it'd be great if you come on the podcast and explain everything what happened. And he said, okay. And then he got a mess.
He couldn't come on. But Jimmy was different. Jimmy had a good reason why he couldn't come on.
Yeah, he was going to.
You could understand that.
So I understand that. But still, I can't ask people to come on because of my the reputation I had. Yet whenever you guys ask them, they all come on. But I can't ask, and I don't ask.
Eddie, so we got a new job, Eddie.
You got a new. Well, everybody that came on because of you guys, not me, not one guy. Only Mike LaChance, only because he asked, and he called up again last week.
How's he doing, Mike? Everything good with him?
He has a bit of a problem now, health problem. It's not that serious, he said. I wish him well, and he says give him a couple of weeks and he'll come on. Now, when he comes on,
give him a call.
When he call him up, call Mike up.
I will.
And I don't know if he said don't say nothing to nobody, but
leave it right there then.
Yeah. But when he comes on, we're gonna have Ron on. We're gonna have Ron on, and maybe Donnie Dancer too. So that'll be a good show.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, Manny. So that answers your question. That's why I put it out there. I put it out there right away. So that's why I don't ask. Okay. Bruins 2011. I watched the race at Saratoga Harness. The horse won, but DQ'd because the wheel went inside the pylon. I saw a similar race, and they kept the winning horse up. Is there a different pylon violations? No. If you go, maybe the judges didn't see it, or maybe, I don't know, but you're not supposed to go inside the pylons.
The rule was if you went inside one, they let it go. But if you went inside two, that no.
Oh, is that it?
If you just brushed it or went over it, horse was running in or something. But if you went inside two, you were definitely disqualified.
Oh, so if you went inside one,
In other
or
words,
just
if you brushed, well, if your horse was running in and you barely went inside one, they understood it. But if you went inside two, then you were disqualified for leaving the course.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay, PM Larry, Manny said he wants to be a jockey's agent. He makes more noise at his house than a volcano. If he was in the barn at Belmont every day, would be loose and exercise riders would be thrown. Let me tell you about Manny. Manny became a good friend. He's a good guy. He's a good guy. And I gotta, in fact, I should read it. Where the hell's my phone? I should read it. But what this guy said and what you just says, I confronted Manny, and I said, you can't come on a podcast and fall asleep and snore and get up and go to a refrigerator and everything else. And I told him everything he did that night, and it was in fact, I won't even read the thing, but I got a lot of people. In fact, you know what? Maybe I will read it. But I confronted Manny. He apologized. He says, I was wrong. It never happened again. He knows he fell asleep. He knows he was snoring and everything else. But there's a lot. I'm not going to read it. I'm not going to read it because Manny will get. I'm not going to read it. It's just that a lot of people felt that it was disrespectful and everything. And I did confront him. I told him the next day, and he apologized. And I think he even apologized right on camera here. So, but he's a good guy. The problem with Manny is he gets up very, very early in the morning. He works his ass. He works very, very hard. He has a big business. He works hard, and he's doing 50 things at one time. And this is when he first came on, and he was wiped out. He was tired, and he sat down, and he passed out. So that's, so I understood. And then he apologized, and he said it won't happen again. And he come on a couple of times since then, and he was fine. And he's a good guy. Okay. Manny, PM, I would be a great jockey's agent. I did little work with fighters in the UFC. Manny wouldn't be a good jockey's agent, in my opinion, and I'll tell you why. Not that he couldn't get the mounts. Not that he's very, very personable guy. But when he went to a trainer and said, listen, you're going to use my guy again. I see this horse is in, and you have nobody down. And the trainer says, your jock gave him a real bad ride. And Manny would say, well, that's because the fucking horse was dead lame. And then the guy says, well, I'm not using him. And Manny would just knock him out. And that's why he wouldn't be a good jockey's agent, because that's the bullshit you get from all these trainers. They bring horses that are not ready. They're not conditioned. They're not lame. They're lame or not. And then I went through that all them times. And I used to sit in the shed row with Alan Seawald. And I listened to that. And one of my best friends is Irwin, who was an agent for 40 years. And you hear all these stories that these trainers put horses in where they don't belong, or they're lame, or they're not ready, or whatever, and then they blame the jockey. That's why Manny would never be a jockey, because they'd be 2 a day he'd knock out. So Manny, stick to what you're doing. Manny is a shitty guest. Manny, that's Manny. Manny said that. Manny is a shitty guest. What is that all about? That's Manny that said he's a shitty guest.
What does that mean? Isn't that Manny?
Yeah, that's Manny that said that. What does this one say? Take care, brush your hair, guys. Take care. I think Manny's very tired. Oh, here's another one. Manny, Consigliere, what is your it's calling. What is your view? The rules were broken. We need as many John Gottis we could get, but we survived by our rules. If it was up to me, he would go. That's another thing about Manny. He's got a great memory, and he remembers all of these lines. Like he watch a movie and he remembers all of these lines. He remembers songs that he's a pretty entertaining guy. The only thing is sometimes he talks too much. An average call with him is 2 hours, so he just talks and talks and talks. But he's always got interesting things to say. And the other thing is, he has a lot of questions and he listens, and so that's good about him. So he made one mistake, one boo boo. He fell asleep, started snoring, and that's okay. He's a good guy. Great movie, Old Gotti movie. Yeah, I had lunch a couple of times with and dinner with who's the guy, the actor that
Armand Desante.
Armand Desante, and he wanted to play. Now,
that was a great Gotti movie.
He wants that they're begging him to play they want him to play Gotti from the time he went to jail until the time he died, and he wants to do that, but I can't give you the reasons why he's hesitant. But he was great. He was great in that movie.
He really was.
Yeah.
And the other guy who played Neil Delacroix, what's his name? Anthony Quinn.
Yeah, he was good too.
And he played a great part too.
Yeah. You know that opening scene when the opening of the movie when he's talking, I'm on a Sunday when he's talking. Yeah. That was a great thing. And then the scene where he's talking about JoJo with the neck with JoJo on it, a buckle, his handcuffs.
Yeah. that was the best Gotti movie for me anyway.
And then when Anthony Quinn calls him and they're talking at the bar, he says, "You come this close."
I was up all night saving your life. You don't know.
Yeah, he's really good. He's a really good person too. He no pretense, no nothing, just a good person.
He when I lived in Katona, New York, he lived like 3 houses away from me. I seen him a couple of times. I had some unbelievable people where I lived. I had Armand Desante. I had Lucy Arnez's daughter. Keith Richards from the Rolling Stones had a house near me. Whoopi Goldberg. They all lived within a quarter of a mile of my house. It was unbelievable. I'd be going to qualifiers like 5:30 in the morning, and I stop at this deli, and Keith Richards from the Rolling Stones is walking in, stoned out of his mind, purple bell bottoms, yellow polka dot shirt, and like, "Hey, how you doing, man? How you doing?" I'm just getting a cup of coffee and a roll and going to Yonkers, and he's in a deli. Unbelievable.
Once I called up Armand Desante and I asked him, I says, I need a favor. There's 2 people I'd like you to meet. They want to do a short story and about me, and they want you to play me in this short story. I says, could you come into the city tomorrow? And we met at that big restaurant. Who's the girl? The Italian girl that's a newscaster on one of the either Channel 2 or 4.
Yeah, Roseanne Scotto.
Roseanne Scotto. It was her restaurant.
Right.
In the city.
Yeah.
And we went in there. The reason I know it was her restaurant is because she came over to the table while we were there. But Armand come all the way in from where he lives upstate, up Monticello.
Yeah, that's where I lived, in Katona.
Yeah. And he came all the way in, and we talked with these people, and it really wasn't a good deal. It was like a bullshit deal. But he did come all the way in. and he also agreed to play Kabert in my movie, and we just have to make Kabert more of
He seems like a down to earth guy.
He's
really.
he's a really good guy.
Yeah.
He's a good guy. No bullshit with him. No pretense. No bullshit.
Yeah.
Good guy. Okay, let's see what this says. Oh, somebody agrees with me. I agree with you, Larry. You stand by your principles. If you can't do it in your heart and soul, you don't do it. But Joe is right too. It wouldn't work, but that's your man or principal guy. Well,
it's not a rat if it's a deal. If everybody agrees to it, you're not ratting. But you're asking permission before you say anything.
Yeah, I guess.
You know, that's not being a rat. That's saying, hey, you think I could, I'll take care of you guys. And
I think maybe if it was today, I think maybe I would have listened to Aaron and Kadish, and I think I would have went to them guys and said, listen, you're probably only going to get a 6-month suspension. I'll give you a couple of $100,000 each. And if you get more than that, I will take care of you. I'll pay your house off. I'll pay this. I would have made some kind of deal because I really loved the game, and I had everything going for me at that time.
You had too much to lose.
Yeah, but
yeah, you made a mistake, Larry. I'm sorry.
Okay, Howard Lieberman, Teddy Wing, another underrated driver, and I think he injured his eye or something.
He only had one eye.
He only had one eye.
Teddy got hurt in a skiing accident, and he lost one eye.
Yeah. But Teddy was a funny guy. You know, if he never went on a racetrack with a catch drive.
Without coming back.
Without coming back to the paddock and changing everything. Lower
his head up a half an inch and drop the hobble down to the front a half an inch. One hole.
Funny guy. All right, Larry, regarding last night's topic, the only guy who ever made a living as an Uber driver was a guy who used his daddy's car and his dad paid for the repairs and the insurance. Eric, I guess I'm not going to get into it. I guess the first of all, I'll just say this, and I might have the numbers a little screwed up, but with the deal that we talked about last night, the drivers right now on Uber are getting 50-something% of the fare. With my friend's company, they get 71% of the fare. That's the first thing. That's a big thing. That's 20%, 20 cents different. The other thing is the referrals. The referrals is a game changer. You refer somebody, if just like he said, if you refer 100 people, and what did he say? There's 180,000 Uber drivers in the city, in the 5 boroughs. So you got to know a lot of guys. You refer 100 guys, and you get 5% of their total take. You can make $3,000-4,000 a week just by referrals. So how could so what you're saying, Eric, is true the way it is now, but it wouldn't be true, and that's why this company is going to be a major home run. Okay, I think Larry Kadish is still alive and his early 90s over the old Westbury. Larry Kadish is my age. He's probably 85, and I really think someday I'm going to drive to his place in Old Westbury. I haven't seen him since 1984. The last time I spoke to him was in 1987. I called him up and I asked him for $300 million, and he asked me what it was for. I told him, and he says, if I was still in charge of my company, I would give it to you, but last year my kids took over, I'm retired, and the deal is too big of a deal for them at this time. I'm sorry. That was the last time I spoke to him. But I may just take a ride out to see him. I know he's ahead of some Jewish coalition that in the biggest fundraiser for the Republican Party.
Good man.
All right, Howard Lieberman, Saratoga's Change. First time I went there, 1962. Rydan and Japer. Moody Jolly was the trainer.
Jolly.
And Leroy Jolly was the trainer. Leroy Dad. You understand all of this, Eddie? I mean.
Yeah, well, that was a Japer and Rydan, and I think he said Leroy Jolly was the trainer.
All right, you guys remember Ralph Scampy? Ralph Scampy. They used to call Con Erico Scampy. I don't know Ralph Scampy.
I remember Shrimp Scampy.
Lou, Larry, your stubbornness was your biggest downfall. Why only? You're right. You're right. You know how many times I cut off my nose to spite my face? You know how many times? It's that bullshit Italian attitude.
It's that thick-headed guinea thickness.
It's what you call an Italian gabadosta.
Yeah.
Thickhead.
Thickhead.
And they say that I take after my mother because my mother was from Calabria, and that's where they say that you get a thick head. They're all thick heads over there. But I'm too opinionated. You know, I'm just too opinionated. But I've been through a lot, and you know, it's not that like I made this statement before. It's not that my whole life I worked in the post office. My whole life I was out there in the real world, and I had deals, a million different deals when I was in the horse business, and then when I was out of horse business, maybe 7 or 8 major companies that I started, and so I've been around a lot of people, a lot of businesses, and everything. I know a lot of things that don't work, and so I think at this point in my life, I have the right to be stubborn, and I have the right to think the way I want to think. Anyway, go ahead, Joe.
No, I didn't. I was just going to say we're all still here and we're all still going. So whatever happened in the past, turn a page. There's nothing we could do.
Howard Liebman, you're a cancer survivor, Larry. You beat cancer. I'm going for my blood test tomorrow. That blood test that tells you.
Oh, really? Good.
Yeah, tomorrow I go, and then you got to wait 2 weeks. It's that special test. I go tomorrow at 12 o'clock. They take the blood. In 2 weeks, they give me the result. Now, if the result comes back that I'm still cancer-free, I'm not going to take no more ivermectin. I haven't taken it. I took it for 10 days. And that 10 days of ivermectin with the other stuff, the test come back perfect. So if it comes back perfect this time, I guess I'm all done. I'm cured. If it don't come back, then I'm going to continue with the ivermectin. If it comes back,
that's
whatever.
one thing we all got in common. We're all cancer survivors.
Yeah, you too. Do you have any trace of it now, Joe? Or
No, they had to take my kidney out. They told me if they found it like 2 weeks later, I had about 6 months.
Wow.
And, they said we got to operate on you immediately.
How did you get to the hospital for them to tell you that? You had pains or something?
You know what? I thought I had diverticulitis. I was getting this sharp pain, but it was on my right side. And the doctor says, just get it checked out. But my left kidney is the one that they had to take out, the Democratic one, the left. And that was the bad one. And they told me I sent you the picture. It was on the wall of the kidney line that if it broke, it was all over. 6 months. But I didn't even need chemo. But I had a year recovery. It was a big operation. And
Eddie, you have cancer?
Yes, stage 1. Yeah, I'm here. What? You hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
What the fuck, Eddie? What do you think? I'm waiting for you. I said I got stage 1 myeloma.
You got blood cancer, multiple myeloma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You all right now?
Yeah, I'm still go. I go for treatments. They gave me a little bit of leeway. I'm going for my blood work on September 8th. And if the blood's no good again, then I go for more treatments. I went 8 weeks in a row, so I'll go for more. What's it? Keeps me going. What are you going to do?
We're here every Tuesday. We're doing all right.
Okay,
Live and in color.
Lou says, Larry's stubbornness was your biggest downfall. Subconsciously, you wanted to be a soldier in the mafia. Let me tell you something, Lou. I had many opportunities to get into that life if I wanted, many, and so I didn't want to be. I did what I wanted to do. I had many opportunities from the time I was a young kid. I had many opportunities, but that life wasn't for me. I'm not a follower. I could just picture if I ever did get into that life, and John Gotti, who was a friend, said to me, "Listen, I want you to report to the social club every Tuesday." What are you, fucking nuts? And I could never last in it. I could never follow the leader. Since my whole, like I said, the only time I did everything in my life myself. I made millions myself. I lost millions myself. Only one time in my life did I do something with somebody else, and that was the time I got caught and I got the beating from Detective Sands because I wouldn't give up my pal. And that was the only time. And ever since then, whatever I did after that, and it was a lot, I did by myself. I created it by myself, and I did it by myself. All the way up until this podcast now. It took me 2 fucking years, and I still hit the wrong button sometimes. Okay, let's see. Detroit Siggy. Larry Hazel Park Raceway. I was never there.
Well, you're off the hook, Larry.
He filmed it yesterday, and Tommy aired it. He filmed it. Oh, he's talking about my thing. He filmed it yesterday, and Tommy. Okay, yeah. See, I did it Monday, and he filmed it today.
You're off the hook.
Right. Stony Tony. Right.
Those pills are working. Those pills are working, Larry. The pills are working.
You know how much them pills cost? I think it cost a couple of $100 or $150 or something like that.
$250, you said.
$250? Unbelievable. Okay, 810 poker. Favorite way to win a race is from the back. Measure them right at the wire. Whip tuck.
Yeah, like their cars. Not that easy there.
Like and share. Okay, what's this one say? Wave to mom, everybody. Jeffrey B. Nothing better than Yonkers in February on a weeknight. That apron gets mighty cold in Yonkers. Could only imagine Monticello in February. They used to
race at night, too, when I was younger.
It's brutal. That's why after a while I stopped going to Florida in the winters. It's brutal. And one time I came back from Florida in April. I always used to come back in April, and there was a snowstorm, a blizzard in Monticello in April.
Yep.
Okay, Manny, I will give Mike a call myself. I will give Mike a call myself. What does that mean, Manny? Who's Mike? I will give Mike a call myself. I don't know. Maybe there was a Mike. I don't know. Okay, Manny.
The Mike we were talking about is Mike LaChance.
Don't worry, I won't come on any more guests. He's got poor Manny's getting Manny. Whatever you do, Manny, don't get temperamental. Don't get temperamental. You fucked up once, so you fucked up. Big deal. No big deal. Don't get temperamental.
I got abused too, Manny. Don't worry.
Nobody fucked up more than me. Nobody. I did one podcast when I never hit live. And then one time the voice wasn't even on. So I fucked up more than so slow down. Okay, what's this one say? Larry or Joe, did you know Harold Story or John Hogan? Knew both of them.
Raced against both of them, knew them both.
Yeah, there's a bunch of stories about Harold Story, and John Hogan was John Hogan. Yeah, I knew them both. You knew them both too, right, Joe?
Yeah.
So did I.
Of course. You know everybody.
Manny might have had a few tonight. No, Manny don't drink. Manny don't drink. Manny's a good guy, but you know, he's a happy-go-lucky guy, and sometimes you get your feelings hurt. And I'm sure we hurt his feelings when all of this happened. We hurt his feelings, but so he apologized. He never did it again. And the only thing he did wrong was he fell asleep and he started snoring. He fell asleep because he was dead tired. He started snoring. Then he got up. He went to the refrigerator. Everybody, and then, so he fucked up that night. No big deal. It's no big deal. I mentioned it to him the next day. He came on 2 times after that. Was a perfect gentleman. No big deal. But Manny, you know, Manny's the kind of guy where, and that's tough because he was raised tough. In the last year, he had a lot of tough things happen. His mother passed, his father passed, a couple other bad things happened, and he's going through a tough time. And he works his ass off. And, you know, hey, look, it is what it is. He's a good guy. He made just, he's just a good guy. Okay. That was the best Gotti movie by far. Yes, it was. With Armand Asante. Yeah. Manny, David, feel great. Trimming dead weight right now and have a couple of wins yesterday and today. Okay, so Manny is trimming dead weight, and I guess he's talking about his horses and is getting rid of the dead weight, and he had a couple of wins yesterday and today. That's great. Good for him.
I'm trimming dead weight too. I went back on Ozempic.
You're on the diet?
Yeah, I got some Ozempic.
Does it work?
Yeah, it works. Are you kidding? It's unbelievable.
Okay, David Arthur says, that's great, Manny. Congrats. Good. Okay, David, I got a good laugh when Cigar Manny never heard of cigar. How ironic. All right, Eric, take it easy now. Take it easy. Take it easy, Eric. Manny's a good guy, so he never heard of cigar. I could mention a couple of things that you never heard of neither, and you wouldn't like people saying that. No happy faces. How ironic. Take it easy. Be nice, Eric. You're on, and you're a good guy. You come on the show all the time. But first of all, Manny is not in the thoroughbred business. That's first of all. Second of all, he was probably 5 years old when Cigar was running, or 10 years old. So why would he know him? He's not in that business, and he's not. I probably could name something in the standardbred business that you never heard of. Is that something to make fun at? No, it's not. Okay, David Arthur. Eric is so funny. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Eric, I am retired from the podcast. Hey, man, he got insulted again. I am retired from the podcast. 3 exclamation points. Okay.
We got Manny. We got a good pension plan here, so don't worry.
No, I
don't think Eric. I don't think Eric meant any harm because he calls Manny cigar, which means he didn't know nothing about cigar. How ironic!
Yeah, I
was
think it was just a play on words.
It
It's
wasn't
ironic,
that
yeah.
he didn't know the horse cigar. See,
Right.
you got to read between the lines there, Gabados. That's what he was trying to say. It wasn't saying
I think so.
because he calls a Manny cigar, and how ironic he didn't know about cigar. So comparison of the name and the horse.
I can only say this. I could give a fuck less who comes on the podcast, who don't.
Take it easy, Larry. Relax.
I don't give a fuck who comes on. I don't care as long as I'm talking to my friends. If Manny chooses not to come on, that's Manny's business. But I'm going to tell you this: Manny's the kind of guy that he chooses not to come on. You know why? Because he can't. If Eric was to say that to his face, Eric would be laying on the ground right now. And Manny is that kind of guy. He's very sensitive to that shit, very sensitive to criticisms and everything else. He was very respectful to me and has been. But he's the kind of guy that if you're going to be a computer or a Facebook wise guy, tough guy, he's better off rather than going back and forth on the computer. He's better off not coming on at all than listening to this bullshit. However, if Eric ever wants to say something like that to his face, even though he's probably kidding around, that Manny could handle that, and then take Eric out for coffee after he knocks him out. But that's what I think is happening here. But if you don't come on, you don't come on. I mean that's as you know, I don't care either way, but I think I just understand them. Just like Joe says to me when these guys and I get crazy, Joe says, and I get the same way because if it's on somebody else's podcast, if I was on Tommy Stig's podcast and somebody start fucking with me, what are you going to do? I said, Tommy, I can't come on no more. I can't do this. And I'm certainly not going to go back and forth, so, and I guess that's the way Manny feels. So if you don't come on, you don't come on. Manny got along for 42 years and without this podcast. He certainly don't need this podcast and he don't need me. Okay, Christopher. Larry is Channing Tatum playing Joe in. What does that mean in the movie? Does Joe know if Trump is going to release the Epstein files? I don't know. I guess only Trump knows. I don't know.
All I know is that they've been interviewing Ghislaine Maxwell for the last 2 days, 9 hours each day. She's talking to them. I think what happened there is they found something, and it has to do with Israel, I believe. And for national security reasons, they can't say anything more right now. And that's what I heard it was. Because Bongino and Kash Patel all believed the same as we all did. What Epstein did, and it wasn't suicide, and all of this stuff, and the terrible things he did, and the guys that were involved with him, they wanted to put it out there. But I think it involves national security where they can't say anything, and that's what I think is happening, because they're trying to get away from it now. So it'll come out eventually, but I think it has something to do with Israel's.
All right. Eric says Larry, the Trump-hating troll, is back under the name of Christos Fool, and let's see, this is Christos. Let's see. Larry, Eric was my Uber driver once. Gave the guy 3 C notes to keep quiet. You guys think he's bad on this podcast? Eric needs a big hug. Well, I don't know. I don't know if that's the guy. He didn't. Larry, Eric was my Uber driver once. He's just fucking around, this guy. But you see what I learned how to do? Right here, there's a thing here. It says delete comment or put user in timeout or ban user and delete comments. Now, I'm not going to do that yet because we'll give them one more shot because they might just be fooling around between the two of them. Okay, let's see. Godfather #1, Brando made his bones when he did Don Finucci. And Larry, last night I was watching a documentary on the Winter Hill Gang and Tony Shula ratted out Howie Winter for fixing races. It was too funny after reading your book. Glad you weren't mentioned. Well, I got involved with Tony after that. I think that happened before. You know, that wasn't my life. I was in the horse business. These guys come to me. I don't know the inner thing, but I think Shula was the one that was that they were always under investigation, them guys. And
Yeah.
I don't know if that happened. I think that happened before me, but I'm not sure. I don't know. Okay, Larry, Mr. Kadish built a humongous office next to the barn. He's always in it. Yeah, but I heard that he sold all the horses and that he don't have. Larry built a humongous office next to the barn. He's always in it. I got to take a ride there. Let me answer this call. Yeah, Jim. Well, he's under a different name.
Yeah, they're doing so. He's talking bad again.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna take him off. I see him again. Okay, I'm gonna take him off.
Sundance threw a wrench on him.
Who's he talking bad about?
No, let's see. He's on again. Larry, I love Eric. I love Larry. Stop being a snowflake. But my friend just called me and he says he bought him. But so why is he still on here? I don't know. Anyway, let's see what
he's on a different name.
Yeah. All right, Larry. Last night I was watching the document. Okay, we saw that one. We saw this one. We saw this one, and we saw this one. Sundance wrenched this anti-Chris Christos out, and then he says, Larry. Okay, so I could do it from here. I think I could do this and then hit ban user and delete their comments. Okay, I did it. So I deleted his comments and I banned him. But he's only going to come back under a different name anyway. So
what's the guy's name?
Christo something. I don't know.
Yeah, okay.
I already erased it. Okay, let's start off where we finished. Where we start off. Sundance. Eric, Sundance wrench this anti. Okay. I don't think Sundance has a wrench. I don't know how to do it. Eric Christos, the internet is full with mice like you with your dinner and snake. Yeah. Okay. Well, we just bought him. He'll be back under a different name. Larry, that Christos Sanders was back making rude comments. All right. We blocked him. Jesse Black. I got handled, Eric. I got it handled. Okay. Brought against all odds on Amazon, $35 now. Joe Jackham, he said he bought against all odds on Amazon. You know what's amazing? Well, thanks, Joe, for buying the book. I think you'll enjoy it. It's just unfortunate that I could only go up to 85,000 words. So most of my life stories are not in that book. And what's in the book is 10% of the real story. But I think you could probably read between the lines. But it's amazing that this book came on Amazon in 2019 and it's still selling, and it's still selling for $35. It's unbelievable. And the reason is, I think, because there's a lot of pictures in the book. But it's amazing that after 5 years that it's still selling, and it's still selling for $35. They keep reprinting this book. It's still selling. That's good. Well, thanks, Joe, for buying it. Okay. Laugh, LOL. Larry had enough of Eric. No, Eric's all right. Everybody's all right. Even the guys that come on that act like assholes. As long as it's like in a kidding around way, it's all right. But sometimes you get really stupid and shitty. And then it's hard for me to stay like Joe, stay calm. It's hard for me because, for the first 5 seconds, I get fucking nuts. And then the 6th second, I'm all right. But
they didn't know me 20 years ago. I was a different Joe.
Yes, I know that.
I think a lot of people can confirm that.
Okay, Jeffrey P. I called Naira and told them, close my account. I'm a compulsive gambler. I called them drunk. Last week I called and says I didn't mean it. They told me, sorry, you're banned for life for wagering. That got to be a joke, right?
I don't know.
What?
I called Naira and told them to close my account. I'm a compulsive gambler. I called them drunk. Last week I called and says I didn't mean it. Sorry, you're banned for life. That could be true, I guess.
It is true, because
Maybe.
it's got to be true.
Okay, Joey says Eric's a geek. Joey says Larry is the man. I love that guy. Joey, Manny, don't listen to Eric. He's gay. Oh, God. Here we go. Eric, Larry, calm down. It's called sarcasm. 5. Good show and stories, gentlemen. Thanks. Jeffrey B. Never ban yourself unless you really mean it. They take it serious. So maybe it's serious. Maybe that really happened. Wow. Manny, I am taking a different approach to life. The strongest person in the room remains quiet when he has a reason to be upset. Well, I don't know if I agree with that, Manny, because they sometimes when you have to react. But I can only tell you this. I know you. I just met you recently, but I've been around you long enough and seen the good in you. And you'll always be my friend, whether you come on a podcast or not. Just be the man that you are all the time. Don't adjust because somebody makes statements. You're a good man. You got this far in your life. You got, in 42 years that you've been in the business and going through and coming up the way you came up, 99.9% of the people that are going to watch this podcast through the years haven't accomplished what you accomplished, especially at your age and especially by yourself. So just be the man that you are and do whatever makes you comfortable. If you can't handle these comments that some of these guys put up, don't come on the podcast. If you could handle it, come on the podcast. Whatever you want to do. Just be the man you are. Okay. Joey, hang tough, Manny. Eric's a geek. Oh, I think we played that. I am good, Joey. I fell asleep one time and was completely shot. We went through that, Manny, and you apologize for that. and so we don't have to talk about that no more. Okay, Manny, I wish I knew Larry back in the day. I just grew up in a different time, but if I was with Larry back then, we would be in Vegas right now. You're right, Manny. You're right. Okay, good stuff, Manny. Okay, Manny, you're aces. Come on, man. He is. He's a good guy. You got to remember. And I'm going to tell you something. You see that guy in the upper right-hand corner here, Joe? Joe's the same way as Manny. Only Joe is twice as old as Manny. But when Joe
hey, that's put me in your league.
All right, well
I'm
then
only
you're
67. I'm
right. Well,
at the 3/4 pole.
Joe is 20 years older than Manny. When Joe was Manny's age, Joe would be acting just like Manny and not taking no shit. That's just the way it is. That's just the way they are. Not taking no shit, and it's very, very difficult for a guy that grew up in the streets and did everything that he has like Manny and Joe got it all by sweat and blood, and then have to sit back and listen to some fucking asshole make stupid remarks, and you can't grab him and break his face because it's on the computer. So I understand what Manny is, and you get a little. It's not that maybe I used the wrong word before, sensitive. Maybe it's time where you just can't handle the fucking bullshit with this computer shit. You got, and neither Joe nor Manny would have any problem facing anybody in the fucking world. And I know in both cases, Joe for sure, that he wouldn't give a fuck. It was Man Mountain Dean coming at him. Joe just put his head down and go right at him, and that's the way it is. And then when you switch to this computer stuff, and you see some fucking asshole make a stupid comment, how do you react? You got to react saying, "Look, I ain't coming on no more," because there's nothing that you can do except turn yourself into an asshole, like I do sometimes, responding to these assholes. So I understand, but
you got to, the thing I don't like is when they lie. If they want to say something negative about you, go ahead, but don't lie. Don't make up, BS.
All right, Joey says Eric's a bully and a nerd. Sorry, guy. Yeah, but in the meantime, ever since I think I did hundreds of what'd you say, 150 shows already? I think Eric's been on every show. So, every once in a while he says stupid shit. But okay, let's see what this says here. So hot in Chicago today. I saw a dog chasing a cat, and they were both walking. Stay cool. Love the show. Thanks, Joe. Okay. Here's Manny. David, I am aces with who I have to be aces with. David, you are aces as well. That's true. If Manny's your friend, the same thing with Joe. Same thing with guys like that. Same thing with me, with Eddie. If you're my friend, you're my friend. If you need something, you got it. You don't even think about it. And well, anyway, I won't get into it. Let's see. Angelique, I bought my dad a copy of your book, and I bought one for myself. That's very nice, Angelique. I hope your father enjoys it. Okay.
What about her? You want her to enjoy it too?
Yeah, I hope you enjoy it too, Angelique. Yeah, but she wouldn't understand half of what's in there.
I think she would. She's been watching the show a long time.
After you get the book, and you read it, comment on what you think of the book if you understood it.
I think she got some gangster in her, Larry.
Jeffrey B. Larry, it's true. I called them up. I lost my money and I was pissed off. I guess it's true. I guess that's right. I guess if you do call up and say, "Look, I'm a sick, degenerate gambler, bomb me," and then you change your mind, you can't. Yeah, so I guess it's true. You know, the motto of that, Jeffrey B, is don't drink. Don't drink.
Don't gamble.
Don't gamble. Don't drink, don't gamble, and don't do drugs.
Do both and don't call Naira.
There's plenty of other things that you can do in your life to get high.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, Larry, Rick Simon, it's the Larry Loves Manny show again tonight. No, Rick Simon, that's not it. I just feel bad. I just feel bad because no, it's not that. Manny's my friend, and that's it. And I say what it is on not to defend him. He don't need nobody to defend him. But I just feel bad that he feels bad, and you know, I just feel bad. He's my friend. So
you can't be too temperamental on this social media stuff. It's everywhere. Every podcast you go, who's fighting with everybody? Everybody's fighting. It's crazy.
Larry, did you ever see Louis Prima live? I sure did. Louis Prima was playing at Bachelor's 3. Joe Namath opened up a Bachelor's 3, a place in Hollywood.
Shella Luna.
And every night, he was there for 2 weeks. Every night, they used to have big half-round booths, 8-seaters, in front of the stage. And right in front of the stage, I had that booth every night. And me and Debbie Evil Sizer and all her girls, that whole posse that I used to hang with, that used to hang wherever I went, they followed me, was there every single night. And what bothered me a little bit was that he was such a superstar in my eyes. He was the king of the lounges in Vegas. And he was selling his CDs at the door for $10. It was like, you know, like I wanted to give him $1,000 and say, Louis, put him back in the trunk of your car and go sit down. Don't be, you know, I didn't like that. But he was the greatest lounge performer ever. Okay, let's see. Stephen tested. Joe, did you win any training titles at Rockingham? Was Bruce Ranger your go-to driver?
Yes.
He was driving better than ever at Plain Ridge. Go ahead, Joe.
Bruce Ranger is a great driver. He was my number one driver at Rockingham. I won 2 training titles in Rockingham. The first 2 out of the 3 years I was there. And I have the record for most wins in New Hampshire. I broke all the records in Rockingham, and they'll always stand now, but stay closed. I had a season where I had, I believe, 290 starts, and I think I won 98 races or something like that. 70 thirds, 60 seconds. It was unreal. And Bruce Ranger was the number one guy, and David Ingraham, and guys like Jonathan Roberts. A lot of good drivers were up there. We had a great time.
You see what I mean about Joe? If you don't ask the questions, a wealth of knowledge, entertainment, and achievements. You'd never know if you don't ask.
I won 7 races in a 9-horse card there. And my record was winning 8 races at Yonkers in a 10-horse card.
That's unbelievable. That really is. Them are things that no other trainer did. Drivers did it, but no trainer ever did them things.
And it's true. It's the God's honest truth. It's all on record.
Yeah.
And
it's easy. It's easy for a driver, like a top driver that's put on a morning line favorite in every race. It's easy for him to win 5, 6, 7 races a night. It's not easy for a trainer that's putting horses in the box to win that many races. That's very good. See, that's what I mean about Joe. You guys should ask more questions to Joe. We got more information out of him.
Well,
okay, Manny, just remember, guys, you let someone poke at you, they do it for a week, then they start pushing you for a week, then they start punching you. You're 1,000% right, Manny. You're 1,000% right. When they start poking you, the first poke, don't poke back. Just knock them out, and it ends right there. You're 1,000% right, Manny. I agree with you, and I'm sure Joe agrees with you, and I'm sure Eddie agrees with you, and I agree with you. They never get too far. The poke. Okay, David Arthur, remember people, it's nice to be nice. Yes, it is.
It's nice to be nice. I remember that.
Nice to be nice. Joe, I can't stand a liar. Joe, you know what a liar really is, right? Yeah, Joe. In fact, about a half hour ago, Joe, and I think that's what you're responding to, Manny. Joe says when we were talking about it, you could put up with anything except a liar, and you're right. You're both right, and that's true.
There's one guy that posts stuff on all the time. That guy, I forgot his name.
Don't even say it.
Around. Matter of fact, he was filming Schnittger at Goshen.
Yeah.
He posted something about him. He posted stuff, all bad stuff about everybody. Everything's negative. It's unbelievable.
That's the guy I had the problem with. I had him on a podcast, but I swore I'd never mention his name again, so I'm not going to mention
it. He was talking about me like he knew me. I don't even know who. I remember him.
He's a bad guy, and he's the guy, and I told you this, his brother offered me money to break his head. He said he even supply the bat. That's how bad of a guy he is. His own family hates him. But I'm not going to mention his name. Okay, Angelique, I will comment on the book after I read it, Larry. Yes, I do have some gangster in me, Joe. Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. Now, Angelique, I just want you to know that when the book first came out, well, before it came out, I self-published it, so I got it all done myself, and I made the print big, the font. They call it the font because they usually print it in 11 or 12 font. I made it 14, so it's going to be easy reading. You could see it easy, and you could go right through it. And it's only 85,000 words, so you can go right through. And the last maybe 10 pages is all pictures of me and all the harness guys, all the harness drivers. So make sure you comment on the book, and I want your honest opinion. Okay, Manny, look at Eddie, baby, with those glasses. Eddie Hollywood, he looks good. He looks good.
Hey, Matty,
Serpico.
Give me a call. I want to talk about the piss clams you like to eat. He loves those piss
Hey, Eddie,
clams.
you see this picture? Manny, you see this picture? Was that the picture you took when Manny was at your barn?
No. He took a picture of me and him.
Oh.
I don't know if he posted.
You should have sent me that picture. I could have put it up.
I don't have it. He took it on his phone.
Oh, okay. All right. Let's see where we were. Okay, Larry Cox. When the fun stops, double up. Manny, why double up? Triple up. Larry Cox, laugh. LOL. LOL. Larry Cox, I couldn't pick a winner right now if you gave me tomorrow's paper. Very good. How do you guys type so fast? When I listen to the Tommy Stiggs thing and he asks me questions, he say, Larry, are you still here? By the time I look to type yes, by the time I find the why, he's already on another topic.
Because they talk it.
Oh, they talk it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but how do you talk it there? I don't see no microphone. Well, maybe I got to look next time. Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe they do talk.
I mean, I don't know nothing. I'm as
No, but you're
prehistoric
right.
as you, but
because when I send texts, sometimes I talk it, but sometimes the words get mixed up, and
Yeah, you got to speak clearly and.
You got to speak clearly, and then you got to check it.
And then you got to check it because things come up that you say, "Oh my God!"
Yeah.
The bottom left of your computer should be a microphone.
Oh, yeah. There's a mic right here. Let me see. Oh, no, the mic. I took the mic off. That's okay. I'm not going to press no more buttons. Yeah, everybody's still there. Okay. Let's see. Hi, Larry and gentlemen. Good show. Very entertaining. BTW. What's that mean? BTW. By the way, 10,000 wins for my man Wally Hennessy. The best. Yeah, we congratulated him the other night. I think it's more than 10. I think it was 12,000 wins.
Oh, Wally's a great driver.
Yeah, good guy. Okay. Oh, man, he says right. Alex, it was 12,000. Yes, yeah, you're right. Okay, Howard Lieberman. Was Keely Smith with Louis Prima? Yes, Keely. No. Keely Smith was there, but Louis Prima had oh God, he had a couple of other girls with him, but Keely Smith was by far the best. She was the best singer that he had with him. The first one he had with him was oh God, oh geez, I forgot her name. Oh fuck, I forgot her name. She played with Louis Prima. I don't know if she married him. She played with Louis Prima, and then she went with a guy called Joe Barone. I forgot. Lillian Carroll. That was her name. Lillian Carroll. And she used to play, she played at the Concord with Joe. I forgot the guy's name, a singer. They were a good duet.
Joey Bishop?
No, it was an Italian guy that sang. It was a good, Joe Barone, something like that. And I used to sit right in front. I had my table right there. And she used to stare at me and sing that Italian song in Italian called Bella. And she said, beautiful, beautiful song. And she used to stare right at me. She had big black eyes. Very pretty girl. And she was, I think, Louis Prima's first singer when he came to Vegas. I think it was from Louisiana or someplace, but she was the first one. Then he had one or two after him, and then Keely Smith, and they were great. They were great, and Sam Butera, great. Okay, Larry Cox, entertainment only. After each race, water under the bridge. On to the next race. Larry Cox, yeah, it's tough, Manny. If anybody knew, they'd be millionaires. Gary D. Had to be incredible. My mom loved his voice. Had to be incredible. My mom, Louis Prima, I think you're talking about. Yeah, he was unique. Best lounge act. There were times in Vegas when Sinatra, that whole crew would go there and just sit in the audience. And a couple of times Sinatra got up on a stage with them. But they would get great. They'd have that lounge swinging all night long. Angelique, you got it, Larry. I will give my honest opinion. Okay. Stony Tony, let's see. This is the best. We've been doing this for 2.5 hours. And what's amazing, Joe still didn't get up to pee yet. And that I see.
I went right before I got on.
Oh, okay. And I heard somebody calling you to go to bed, Eddie. So we're gonna have to end this soon. All right.
That is past my bedtime.
Yeah, I know. David Arthur, I can type faster than I can. So I can't type at all. Okay. Manny, good night, everyone. Have a great night, all. You too, Manny.
Good night, man.
Good night, Manny. Talk to you tomorrow, Manny.
Okay, Stony Pony, Manny. Oh. Okay, Sam Butera in the bands. The greatest rock saxophone player ever, Sam Butera. You know what? We reached the end of the comments, so we reached the end of the show. Nobody sings Cella Luna like Louis Prima. Nobody does all them songs that Louis Prima did. Nobody could do them in that shuffle beat like he did it.
Yeah.
And with Sam Butera playing the saxophone, and Louis was a great trumpet player. I mean, they were just great together. Anyway, that's it. No more comments. That's it. Eddie, go to sleep. Joe,
Joey, go pee.
Thursday, I'm going to have a bunch of guys on talking about the Hamiltonian. Going to have a couple of handicappers on, Freddie Hudson, Michael.
The Hudson River Show.
There's going to be, I forgot the names, but they're going to have 4 of them on. I think 2 of them were trainers of Hamiltonian winners. One is a handicapper, and Freddie. So and me. So it's going to be a good show. So
all right, buddy. Good night, my friends.
Eddie, good night. Larry, good night.
Good night.
Good night, everybody on the podcast. Thanks for the comment.
This is what happens.
Larry,
65.
Hear my prayers for your test tomorrow, Eddie.
I'll be fine. I'll be fine. I'll be fine. But thank you.
I know.
And Jeffrey Bean says, Jesus, is this what happens over 65 peeing and falling asleep? Yes, that's what happens.
Yes.
And don't forget the medication.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Eddie. Thanks, Joe. I'll see you.
You're welcome,
Bye,
Larry.
Good night. Good night. Good night. Good night. And now and thank you guys for showing up. And how the hell do I do this now? Okay. Okay, thanks guys. I'll see you Thursday. Thursday night. Yeah, we're going to talk about the Hamiltonian. Okay, good night, folks.